I'm Danny Epperson, and I'm inside the extravagant Commodore Dinner Theater in downtown Portsmouth. Thanks for joining me for WHRO Cinema 15 and our presentation of 1944's To Have and Have Not. You're in for a treat. 1944's To Have and Have Not was created by some of the biggest names in Hollywood. In fact, it's the only film with 2 winners of the Pulitzer Prize for Literature listed in the credits. The story is based on a 1937 Ernest Hemingway novel, and William Faulkner worked on the screenplay. To Have and Have Not was directed by Howard Hawks, the filmmaker behind classics like Scarface and Bringing Up Baby. But even with a trio of superstar storytellers bringing it to the big screen, this movie is most famous for the love story that happened behind the scenes. To Have and Have Not marks the first on-screen pairing of Humphrey Bogart and a 19-year-old newcomer named Lauren Bacall. The film is set on the French-owned Caribbean island of Martinique and takes place during World War II, shortly after France fell to the Germans. Bogart plays fishing boat captain Harry Morgan, who is hired to transport a French resistance fighter on the run from the Nazis. Lauren Bacall plays Marie, a drifter and lounge singer who catches Morgan's eye.
Thanks. Who's that?
The threat of capture brings them closer, and it becomes clear that the only way they can survive is by sticking together. To Have and Have Not was seen by many as Warner Brothers' attempt to capitalize on their 1942 mega hit, Casablanca. In both films, Bogart plays an American expatriate who reluctantly helps resistance fighters. Both films are set in exotic locations, include lots of smoking, and feature a singing piano player.
Sad and lonely one.
But what makes To Have and Have Not stand on its own is that this is the movie where we get to see Bogey and Bacall truly fall in love.
You just put your lips together and blow.
Their chemistry and attraction overshadows every scene in the movie. It makes every flirty line and smoldering look even more authentic. I'll be back after the movie to tell you more about the start of the beginning of their beautiful relationship. But for now, hit the lights and get ready for To Have and Have Not. Talk about your Hollywood endings. The relationship that started between Bogart and Bacall while filming To Have and Have Not remains one of Hollywood's greatest true love stories. The 19-year-old Bacall landed the role after she was spotted on the cover of Harper's Bazaar by Nancy Keith, director Howard Hawks' wife. Bogart was in his mid-40s, unhappily married and transitioning from movie gangster to romantic leading man. The two got along great during rehearsals and on set. Bogart even went out of his way to help Bacall work through her acting anxieties. The young actress was so nervous in some scenes that her hands and head were trembling. In order to steady herself, Bacall learned to keep her chin down and her eyes up. That look became a Bacall trademark. According to Lauren Bacall's memoirs, after 3 weeks in production, Bogart walked into her dressing room and kissed her. It was out of character because he was such a shy and well-mannered man. The attraction between the two was impossible to conceal, and Hawks decided to take that tension and use it to make a more dynamic film. Parts of the script were rewritten to play up the romance. The movie's most famous line wasn't written by Hemingway or Faulkner. Howard Hawks wrote the whistle scene as a screen test for Bacall and didn't intend for it to end up in the film.
Maybe just whistle.
But after watching her delivery, he reconsidered.
You know how to whistle, don't you, Steve? You just put your lips together and blow.
Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall were married in May of 1945 and lived happily ever after until Bogart passed away in 1957. That's all I have for this week. I'm Danny Epperson, and I'll see you next time for WHRO Cinema 15 and another classic movie. But if you need me for anything, just whistle.